Yesterday, we were talking about how Jesus came to this earth and he showed God's transforming love. Remember that? We showed how Jesus healed people while he was on this earth. We showed how Jesus shared with people, gave to people. And we showed how Jesus healed or delivered people from demonic spirits. And then we showed how Jesus cared for people. Alright? That's how Jesus showed God's love while he walked on this earth. So today, we're going to do part 2 of yesterday. Alright? Today is going to be about Jesus all over again. Only today's story is going to look radically different from what we saw yesterday. Okay? It's still going to be about how Jesus shows his Father God's love on this earth. But it's going to look completely different. I need you to watch closely. Okay, so right now I need you to sit up straight. Put your eyes on the screen. And we're going to tune in to the local LBS news channel.
Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in again to the LBS News Channel, where we cover today's top stories. I'm Jeff News.
And I'm Gary Chan. Thank you for joining us. We continue our coverage of the world's most famous man, Jesus of Nazareth. For about 3 years now, this man has made headlines almost daily. In fact, he is now the longest trending topic on Twitter ever.
You're absolutely right, Gary. And the dramatic events of this past week alone have brought this story to a pinnacle. Now, for those of you just joining us, here's a quick recap of the past week.
Jesus' radical teachings, healings on the Sabbath, and various other controversial actions have gotten him into a lot of hot water with Jews and most notably religious leaders. It has been reported that one such group, the Pharisees, have been plotting to have him killed.
Now, just 1 week ago, Jesus again visited Jerusalem, and the streets were packed as thousands lined the sidewalks to welcome him. It is reported that the event was a bigger turnout than the victory parade of the Jerusalem Lakers basketball team 2 years ago.
You're correct, Jeff. Well, the glory of that day was short-lived. We received news yesterday that one of his own disciples, Judas Iscariot, betrayed him. It is now confirmed that Jesus has been arrested and taken into custody.
He has been on trial most of last night and into today. Shortly, we will join our ACE reporter Dan coverage live in Jerusalem to hear the final verdict from our Governor Pilate.
In other news, crime is on the rise in Jerusalem as 2 separate accounts of robbery have been reported in the city. Officials say that these 2 men will be executed for their crimes later today. Also making headlines is the notorious criminal Barabbas. He is taken back into custody after murdering 3 employees of the Israeli National Bank, which he attempted to rob just last month.
Returning now to live coverage of the trial of Jesus, it has just been announced that in honor of the holiday, the citizens of Jerusalem will be allowed to choose one prisoner to be set free. And in a dramatic twist, Pilate is giving the crowd an option of releasing Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, the murderer. Personally, I think it's a no-brainer, Harry. I mean, when you compare the 2 of these, there's no question.
I have to agree with you there, Jeff. But it sounds like the wait is over because we have received word that the trial has begun.
We now join our ACE reporter, Dan, who is there live in Pilate's court. Dan, we've been waiting on the edge of our seats all morning here in the studio. What is the latest from the courtroom?
Well, guys, it doesn't look good. Since the night of his arrest, Jesus has been held without bail. Jesus will be tried before Governor Pilate, and the custom of the day is that 2 men will be tried. One man will be released, while the other will be sentenced to death. The other man being tried is Barabbas, a well-known criminal here in Israel. However, rumors are that the crowd will ask for the release of Barabbas instead of Jesus. Oh wait, they're bringing Jesus forward now. Let's...
Okay, who do you want me to release? Barabbas or Jesus of Nazareth, who's called Christ? Give us Barabbas! Give us Barabbas!
Pilate released Barabbas. Barabbas, who was condemned to death, who was a known murderer, set free that day. Can you imagine how Barabbas must have felt when he realized he was the criminal? He was the one who should have been killed, and the crowd chose him, a murderer, a sinful man, to be released back into freedom? What would that feel like? To be released when you know you're going to die. To walk out of the hall that day, out of the court, a free man. And Jesus take his place. In turn, Pilate told Jesus to be whipped, to be beaten. He sent Jesus to be whipped, to be beaten, and then to be crucified. A cruel death on a cross. Can you imagine? The pain of his beating, the pain of the torture, had weakened Jesus. And as he walked, they sent criminals with him to crucify with him.
I think it's a little farther ahead. It slowly goes into the outside.
They took him to a hill outside the city.
You do?
But Jesus was so weak, he couldn't carry his cross.
Is your cue
the
on
whole
now?
way. He fell down.
Okay, got
The
it.
soldier
Just going
tried to
slowly.
get him up. Then he grabbed someone from the crowd. And he called Simon of Cyrene to carry Jesus' cross the whole way to the hill outside the city. The hill that is called the Skull. And this is where the crucifixion would take place. They took one of the criminals, they crucified him on the right hand of Jesus.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Wait, did you hear what Jesus just said? He said, Father, forgive them. Why? Because they don't know what they're doing. Let's look at what just happened over Jesus' life in the last couple days here. Couple days. Jesus, one of his close friends, had betrayed him for money. They went to the government leaders and they said, we're going to trade Jesus if you give us money. He was betrayed. And then, as you saw, he was brought into the courtrooms and they said, who do you want us to release? Barabbas, who was a known murderer and thief, or Jesus? This man who yesterday you saw was healing people. He was giving to people. He was caring for people. He loved on people. And the crowd said, crucify Jesus and let go of Barabbas. That was not fair. That was not justice. And Jesus said, forgive them? How many of you, right now, look at me. How many of you have ever had someone slap you on the side of the face? Or maybe they even looked at you and cursed you right in your face? You feel someone done that to you? Yeah, put your hands down. Right there, when someone slaps you on the face and they're mean to you, something rises up inside of you. Something says, that's not fair. That's injustice. I want fair. I want this to be just. And I want that person to pay. I want them to feel the pain that they caused me. That's what rises up inside of me. But Jesus, that moment, all those people were turned against him for no reason at all. He had every right to be angry. He had every right to be bitter. He had every right to hold grudges against these soldiers. These soldiers were casting dice, throwing dice to divide Jesus' only possessions that were left on this earth. He had every right to be angry, but instead, Jesus remembered God's word. God said, if you forgive others, I will forgive you. And right there, Jesus chose not to be angry. He chose not to hold a grudge. He chose not to be bitter with the people who were hurting him. He chose to forgive. That is love. That's God's love. And that's the kind of love that transforms others. But back to our story. Jesus was on the cross now. There was a crowd around him. They're watching him. The soldiers were throwing the dice. Religious people of the day were there too.
He saved others. He healed others. But now he can't even help himself.
You are the King of the Jews. Save yourself.
Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and save us.
Don't you fear God? See that we've been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for what we've done. This man hasn't done anything wrong. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom.
Truly, I say to you, today, you will be with me in paradise.
They stopped. Again, notice what happened. Here's a man who was a criminal. Of that day, his payment was death on a cross, a cruel death. It was the worst of all deaths, to die slowly on a cross. Jesus, he deserved that death. Jesus was on the cross at the same time, experiencing that intense pain. And while he was on the cross, he wasn't thinking about himself. He noticed this criminal over here. He said, Jesus, have mercy on me. I'm a sinner. I need your help. He's worthy of death. But Jesus' love has no limits. Jesus says, today, you're going to be with me in heaven. See, Jesus' love has no limits. Sometimes people think, I'm too bad for God. I'm not good enough. There's no way God will want anything to do with me. I'm too bad. But I want to tell you, there was a man, a couple years ago, there was this man, and he said, the exact same words, I'm too bad for God. I've done too many things that God can never forgive me. He doesn't want me. He said, I went into a church and I stole possession from that church, from God. God can't forgive me. He said, I stole a Bible and I ripped pages out of that Bible and I rolled them up to smoke my drugs. That's bad. He said, there's no way in this world that God can forgive me. But you know what he chose to do that day? He chose to ask God to forgive him. And God forgave him. See, Jesus' love has no limits. You can't be too bad for God. He wants to forgive and love everyone. Back to our story. Jesus had now been on the cross from 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock that afternoon. It was 6 long, agonizing hours in the hot sun. No water, no drink, no food, intense pain. And after hours in the sun, he looked up to heaven, to his Father in heaven. He cried out,
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.
and with these words, Jesus died. See, Jesus loved us to the point of death. There's no greater love than dying for somebody. You know that? There's no greater love. The verse in the Bible says there's no greater love than one lays down his life for someone else. And that's what Jesus did for us. But how does Jesus dying for us, how does Jesus dying affect us? That's the question we need to look at just a little bit. Well, way back before Jesus was on the earth, way before then, when he created the earth and he created people, he walked with them and he talked with them. But then people sinned against God. They disobeyed him and they walked away from God to do their own things. You see, when we sin, we separate ourselves from God. And that's what happened. And God said the punishment, the consequence for sin is death. And so from that point on, people began to kill animals. So their animal blood was shed to cover for their sins. But God said, I want a perfect sacrifice. I want a perfect payment. Is anyone here perfect? Raise your hand if you're perfect. See, no one can raise their hands. None of us are perfect. We're all... I need it quiet. We're all born sinners, separated from God. And that is why, since none of us are perfect, none of us can die for our own sins, because we're sinners. That is why God sent Jesus, his own Son, who was perfect, who could take that payment for sin by giving his life so that we don't have to die, so that we can live. That's love. That you lay down your life for another.
So what does this mean for us? For me, what does it mean for you? Are you willing? Could you forgive if someone tortured you? There's one part they didn't bring out tonight, but they tortured Jesus. They whipped him. Then they drove nails through his hands. Could you forgive if someone did something like that to you? What are you holding back? Jesus forgave. And if we want Jesus to forgive us, according to the book of Matthew 6, it tells us that we need to, first of all, forgive others. Can you forgive like Jesus did? That is a yes or a no question. It is impossible to go through life and have no one hurt
Maybe
you.
we do. There
You
is
will
a
be
spot.
hurt.
I didn't see that.
That isn't the question. The question is, what do you do with the pain? Jesus, he forgave. Are you willing to forgive?
Is there a cue for that?
When you forgive, you let it go. Jesus loved, knew no limits. It didn't matter what they did, he forgave. Are you saying, I will forgive them if they stop? That's not what Jesus said. As they were driving those nails through his hands, Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. And they kept right on doing it. What was his response? He kept right on forgiving them. And the choice is, are you willing to forgive people that hurt you? Or does your forgiveness have a limit? God's love doesn't have a limit. Now another lie that Satan wants to give to us is that I'm too bad. There's no way God can forgive me because I'm just way too bad. That's a lie. It's not true. Because God will forgive you for anything if you're willing to let it go. Then you might ask the question, why was Jesus on this cross? What's the point? There's a very simple point. I'm going to ask a question here. When God says something, is it true? Yes, correct, thank you. When God says something is true, and when God said the payment for sin is death, it meant that something has to die for that sin. If something doesn't die for that sin, you deserve death. But Jesus saw that, and he knew that. So what did he choose to do? He chose to die. So what can happen to us? We can live. We're going to go through a prayer. First of all, if you want to forgive someone, I know we did the last 2 nights, but forgiveness is so huge. Because if I don't forgive, God won't forgive me. And believe me, I need God's forgiveness. So if I choose to forgive those that hurt me, God will forgive me. First of all, I need to choose to forgive. So I want to lead you through a prayer of forgiveness again. Then when we come to that point, I want you to mention that name of the person that hurt you. Say, today I choose to forgive them for, and you mention what they did to you. Let it go, friends. Let it go. Because then we can live. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, can you all close your eyes with me and pray with me? Lord Jesus, thank you for loving me. Thank you for forgiving me. Today I choose to forgive. Now I want you to say who you want to forgive if there's someone in your life. Just speak out loud. Say what you want to forgive them for. They did something against you. You remember it. Say, I choose to forgive them. And say what it is. Keep saying it. If there's anything in you, I want you to say it out loud. And let's keep on praying here. Lord Jesus, thank you for your unlimited love. Thank you for caring for me. Thank you for dying for me. Open up my mind that I can understand what Jesus did for me. In Jesus' name, amen. Now what we're going to do next here is, after Jesus died, another thing happened. We're going to watch a video and what will happen next. So just watch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As many of you are probably aware, around dawn, a great earthquake shook the entire city of Jerusalem without warning.
Scientists are currently scrambling to find answers for the cause of this sudden and yet strange earthquake.
But the earthquake pales in comparison to the news we have just received.
It was just confirmed that the man Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified just 3 days ago and was buried in a tomb, is not there anymore.
The official report that we are to give is that his disciples came by night and stole him away while the guards were asleep.
Is that really what the official report says?
Yeah.
Honestly, I find it kind of hard to believe that his disciples could break into the tomb and steal his body away, especially that a whole unit of soldiers were currently stationed there. I find it a little difficult to believe, honestly.
You know, Gary, I agree with you. Well, regardless of the rumors and opinions, the fact still remains. Jesus is no longer in the grave.
That is reasons to rejoice. Thank you for clapping. That's real. Listen. Tell you what, let's clap. Now,
Could kill the screen.
I want you to know one thing yet. The same power that rose Jesus from the dead, do you understand this? The same power that rose Jesus from the dead can live inside of you and can take you and rise you and live
Are you
above sin. Now that is awesome. We can live above sin. We don't have to be under sin, but to live above sin. Why? Because Jesus rose from the dead. I don't know if you understand that, but that's incredible. And for that, I want to give another thank offering to God. You guys have been incredible. I want to bless you. And I thank God that you're here today. Let's just pray that I'm going to dismiss you. Father in heaven, I thank you that everyone is here today. I'm asking you that you would help us to understand this incredible story. How you came and you set us free from this bondage of sin. And today we can live above sin, victorious, free, and walking with you in your kingdom here on this earth. Cause us all to understand this concept because it's incredible. Thank you, Jesus. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we're going to dismiss. Starting in the back and starting in the front.